want to talk about the band's hype. You're a band that was pretty much hyped even before you released any songs.
Yeah.
Was it difficult to stay grounded at that point?
I don't think grounded was much of an issue. I think, you know, for us, we almost created the hype without meaning to create the hype. It's only now looking back at it that you realise by not putting any of the music on the internet at the time and you know, keeping a really low profile, people started to want to come and see us, and that's how the hype was created. But keeping grounded, we never had that problem. You know, we all knew what we wanted to do it for. You know, it just became a little bigger than we thought it was.
Well, the way you didn't put music on the internet, was it something you did intentionally, not to create hype, but just?
Yeah. It was intentional because we didn't know how to. I mean, this sounds really naive, but it's true. We didn't know how to kind of go into a studio and go about it. We didn't have the money to do that at the time, and yeah, so it was unintentional, you know.
Yeah, well, it all started for you in at 180.
Yeah.
And if I'm correct, it was just you guys playing in the basement, I think, and then inviting some friends over, and then.
Well, yeah. Well, that was it. You know, we started the band. You know, it was for our mates to dance around to the music. It was something different, you know, than your usual, you know, clubs and pubs in London. You know, we just wanted like a place for our friends to kind of congregate, and then they sort of went on this word of mouth thing. You know, they started telling their friends, and then that's how the thing grew.
At this point, did you have any ambition towards where you are now and even further, or
no,
was it just
not at that point? You know, so yeah. No, I think it would have been wrong at that point, but no, it was merely just like innocently, just like for a place for all of us to hang out.
And now that it has grown bigger, do you miss those more intimate?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do, but we won't stop doing them. You know, we're going to do one soon again. You know, it's and we play house parties all the time. You know, when we were in the US a couple of weeks ago, I think every place that we went to, we tried to play sort of a house party.
Can you describe it for me? I don't know how to picture it.
It's like, so you go to a town or a city, and you know, you just put on Facebook or something. Can we play someone's house for a party? And it's just a great way to kind of meet people, and it's usually free booze and, you know, all the rest of it, you know, and it's such, it makes, you know, because we're all so young, it's sort of like all these people are our age group, and it's such a, it just breaks down that whole barrier that we've been fighting to break down for the whole time, you know.
Well, is that important, that you stay closely connected?
Absolutely. I think it's probably one of the most important things, you know, because that's that ethos that we brought right from the beginning. You know.
Well, can you maybe give me an example of one of those house parties or some memorable moments?
It was one in San Francisco, and it was, you know, these are completely alien countries to us and states, and so we just turned up there. We said, look, let's do a party, and someone just came in this house at this time, came down, bought a couple of guitars, jammed with the kids that were there, and, you know, 60, 70 people turned up, you know, all unannounced, just their friends, you know, and we stayed up all night and, you know, had a good time, and it's such a good thing, you know, I just love it. I really, I love that kind of that mentality and that way of taking your music somewhere else. You know, that it doesn't always have to be on this. You know, I think we've always tried to stay away from this kind of professional, you know, doing the normal thing, and so, you know, we just love to do that kind of thing.
Is it difficult to combine those two worlds, basically?
It is. We find it really difficult, especially now, you know. But the label that we're on really allows us to go ahead and do these kind of things.
Well, you mentioned the label. You've been well. A lot of labels were interested in you before you signed, and then Rough Trade came along. How important was that?
That's been probably the most important decision, I reckon, that we've all had to make. Yeah, I mean, but there was no doubt in our minds. I mean, that's the dream label that I think every kid who starts a band really thought, you know, that's the label that we want to go. And, you know, as soon as Jeff Travis and Jeanette Lee stood up and said, look, we're gonna sign you guys. Jim, we're doing an interview here, man. We're doing an interview. You've ruined my flow. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, we'll do that one again. What was the question?
Just about rough Trade. How important it was to you?
Well, yeah, Rough Trade is probably one of the most important decisions that we've had to make as a group and as a band. And I think for every young teenager growing up in London, especially, and who are into the music business, you know, you want, you know, someone like Rough Trade to be backing you, and when you know, Jeff Travis and Jeanette Lee came down to the studio and saw us and said, we want to work with you guys, it was, you know, it's a no-brainer, you know. That's like a dream, you know. It's like the dream team, and yeah, we've been happily married ever since.
Did you have to hold off on other offers before that one came along, or?
Yeah, no, yeah, we, you know, like they come and go, you know, like every buzz band. I was talking to one earlier, you know, they're like, this label's coming down, this major's coming down. And, you know, it confuses me all the time why all these major labels want to sign, you know, like indie groups. I find it really weirds me out, you know, why they want to get involved in that and try and, you know, because I know that they're detrimental to the creativity of the group, you know.